So hi everyone, back on the table, so I'm able to do some examples again and demonstrate a few shots. Unfortunately I still can't do one-to-one coaching sessions, but hopefully in the near future the lockdown restrictions are going to be eased a little bit more and I will be able to resume my sessions on the table, so look out for when I start my coaching sessions again. Now I wanted to do this video as a follow-up video to one I did a couple of weeks ago where I talked about the hand hitting the chest. And some people seemed just a little bit confused by it, and I can understand why actually. When I look at some of the clips there, it looks as though sometimes the cue is coming through further than others. And that's probably true on some shots, especially for the way I play, because I have a little bit of elbow drop, which will sometimes allow my cue to go through further. But the message in that video really about the hand hitting the chest is that what you want to think about is as a minimum, you want the hand to come through and hit the chest each time. So on any shot, the hand should finish at the chest. That's the minimum. Sometimes it might even go through further if you're using a lot of power and you've got a bit of elbow drop like me. But the real point of talking about the hand hitting the chest is because sometimes players don't go through far enough, so they'll stall a little bit early and not go all the way through the ball. And that's because sometimes of the type of shot that a player is playing, they think that they might get hold of the white better and get a better reaction by not going all the way through the cue ball. So the real point of it was that no, you always want to go right through the cue ball, and that means delivering the hand to the chest. And so what I'm going to do is set up a couple of key examples here and show you from different views my hand going to the chest and how we control the white on these shots. Right, so we can see this first example here on the black. I'm almost level with the black cushion. You can see the angle that I've got on this black, and I need to try and pop the black and stun past these two reds for the two reds into the corner where I'm standing here. So this is a shot here where I still want to have a nice follow through, get the hand all the way through to the chest, but I think it's a common shot where players, because you're worried about stunning the white too much, maybe even hitting the reds with the cue ball, or if you hit it too hard and go through the white too much, the white might drift away and come over here towards the side cushion. This is a common shot, I think, where players don't want to go all the way through to the chest with the hand. So I'm going to show you that on this shot, absolutely I can complete the delivery all the way through to my chest. As long as I hit the correct point on the cue ball, that's what's going to control the cue ball and make the cue ball go where I want it to. So I'm going to play this shot now, and I'm going to show you that the grip hand can come all the way through to the chest and complete properly. So I'm going to hit below centre, a couple of tips below centre. Now keep nice and still, watch the grip hand. So right the way through to the chest. Cue ball's drifted up onto those two reds, but my hand has finished, delivered at my chest. Right, so now on this second one, I'm just going to show you, I've put a red here just so you can see how far the tip is going to come past where the white is. That'll just be a good reference there. So I'm just going to show you again that the hand comes through to the chest and we get nice follow through at the front and still control the white by hitting the correct point on the white ball. So down to the shot, do your feathers up to the shot, backswing, right through to the chest and keep still. So I've actually left the cue ball where it's just landed here because this is another good example here of a very gentle shot now. I only want to tap this red in and just run through just a fraction to leave myself on the black nicely. But this is an example again where I talk about the minimum amount that you want the cue to come through, which is to come through and hit your chest. Now on this shot, I won't use a backswing that's as long because I don't need to accelerate the cue quite as fast because I'm only just dropping the red in. So the way to think about this is it would be like playing a putt in a game of golf. You wouldn't bring the club back too far because you're just gently tapping the ball in. So I'm going to do the same with my backswing here, not bring it back too far and then just tap this shot in, but you'll still see that the hand will finish at the chest. So behind the shot, do my feathers for the shot, little backswing, and then hand all the way through to my chest. Haven't lost the white, I've got my proper delivery all the way through to my chest, and the white's gone through nicely onto the black. But that again is what we mean by that. The minimum amount you want your hand to come through is to always hit the chest, so you're building up that muscle memory of the same delivery each time. The way you control it on the softer shots, don't pull the cue back too far on the final backswing. If you need more power, use a full backswing and then go right the way through to your chest again. Okay, and now we've got the third and final example that I wanted to do. So I'm just a little bit off straight on this blue and on the wrong side of the table. So let's say here I was potting the blue and I wanted to bring the white round and in and out of bulk and somewhere down onto this red here. So now I need to generate lots of topspin, a little bit of left-hand side here to help the white go around the table, but I also need to generate quite a bit of power on the shot as well. So this is where I will probably drop my elbow and go through the shot and just let the cue go right the way through nice and relaxed, and I'll go even further than my chest. But that's because for me, I'm using elbow drop to do it like that. So this elbow is finishing lower than where it starts. Not all players do it like that. Some professionals do. So Ronnie O'Sullivan, Mark Selby, Sean Murphy, they're all players that drop their elbow. Then you've got players like Judd Trump, Neil Robertson. They don't drop their elbow, and obviously they're arguably two of the players with the most amount of cue power in the game at the moment. So you don't have to drop your elbow. Some players do it differently to others, but there certainly isn't anything wrong with it. But that's why I think in the first video sometimes you see that my cue comes through further than it does on other shots. So this is a shot where my cue tip will go past the white a lot because I'm going to use lots of elbow drop and let the cue go right through. So if we have a look at this one, so I'm going to use left hand side and then I'm going to let the cue go right through that elbow drop, bring the white down, and then the white comes down and round onto this red here. So that's a shot where obviously I let my elbow drop because I've got to generate a lot of power. I'm trying to get the white to smoothly run around the table without having to hit 10 out of 10 in power. I would still say that was only a 7 or an 8 out of 10 in power, but I let my elbow drop there, and that's why sometimes we talk about the minimum we want is the chest. Sometimes I even let my cue go further than that to just generate nice smooth power with no tension in my grip hand. So I hope that makes a little bit more sense then. What we're talking about is the minimum amount of follow through that you want, which is your hand always coming through and hitting your chest. So in the first video, that's why sometimes you'll see that on the lower power shots, the minimum is the hand hitting the chest, and so the cue has got a bit of follow through. Sometimes, like we just saw on that blue shot there, you want to generate even more power so the cue has gone through that bit further. But what we're really talking about when we say the hand coming through to the chest is that minimum amount of follow through, which is the hand always coming into contact with the side of the chest. So if you enjoyed this video, as always, please give the video a like. If you want to see more instructional tutorials just like this one, please subscribe to the channel. That just really helps me to keep these videos coming. I hope everybody's staying safe and staying occupied with things to do during this lockdown. I know it's difficult, but I hope everybody's safe, and I'll be back with another video very soon. Cheers.